Fairy Tail Engineer's Quest Chapter 210 is officially out, and in this one, we finally get to see what's up with Natsu. Who is the person that he's speaking to in his own head? Is he actually going crazy, or is this somebody we already know? And the battle against Rockbelt seemingly is completely and, well, let's be honest, taken care of very quickly. But we got some very interesting stuff in this chapter. We had a character reveal in a sense that I was not expecting and looks really, really damn cool. I still do have my criticisms of how this section of the story has been handled, but I'll get into that as I explain through this chapter and the stuff that I legitimately really do like, and I'll explain some stuff that I know people are going to have questions about. But all that's to say, yes, Natsu's back in the fight, and better than ever. But before we jump into this chapter, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hype up the video to boost it in the algorithm to show you guys enjoy what I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more, and to help share this video with anyone else that is a fan of Fairy Tail. I'm aiming to get every single one of these videos to have a baseline of 10k views, but also to hit that 50k subscriber mark before the year ends. I have a little over 6 months left, and I do think we can reach that goal. But with that out of the way, let's just jump right into this chapter. Chapter 210 of 100 Years Quest, titled The Flames Meaning, and the cover image is of Natsu in his new Dragon King mode, with the image of Igneel right behind them, showcasing the flames that he now possesses in full force. But this also has another meaning, as we'll get into in just a second. So the chapter begins directly from the last one, where Natsu just wakes up and starts arguing with some invisible person, just having like an internal crisis for all we know. Natsu getting continuously frustrated with this person in his head, as he just casually tells Natsu, why don't you fight already? Your sturdy body is one of your strong points. But Natsu says he's unable to move, and this person calls him pathetic, with Lucy and Wendy kind of wondering what the hell's going on, with Lucy sadly also saying that she did kind of figure Natsu to be kind of a weird one to begin with, but this is another thing. And Rockbelt is scratching his head in confusion. But as Natsu's saying, who the hell are you? This random person says, you forgot me already, huh? Ah, whatever, I'm gonna borrow your body right now. As we get a jolt in Natsu, as then he switches his demeanor to super confident as flames begin to casually billow out, as the flames raging give off a roaring sound effect, which is really cool because, you know, dragon. But when Lucy and Wendy end up seeing the change in Natsu's demeanor and strength, Rockbelt instantly recognizes these flames, as then the flames then begin to fully engulf Natsu. As this person says, it's been a long time since I've taken a human form. As this person who has taken over Natsu's body says, leave this to me. As now the flames cover Natsu completely, and as they dissipate, we get a full new character design. Someone with a very ancient look, similar to Ignia, with the tattoos on his left side of the body. And I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the coolest character designs in all of Fairy Tail, I'm not gonna lie. To people saying that Mashima cannot come up with brand new character designs, show them this image, because this is fucking insane. This is honestly really, really damn cool. I know, his assistant from Fairy Tail is primarily doing the art, but Mashima had to have drawn this initial design to be adapted anyway. So yeah, this looks really cool. Whoever this person is took over Natsu's body and did a transformation. As Lucy and Wendy are wondering who the hell this is, Rockbelt instantly recognizes that this is Igneel. That's right, this, let's be honest, chiseled guy giving off just casual aura farming is Igneel.
Oh no, he's hot!
But seriously, his design is sick as hell, and I legitimately love it. Now, everyone's probably wondering two things. Why is Igneel kind of technically revived, and how did he change his form? Well, a couple of things. One, dragons inherently know how to use some form of, transformation magic, which is why they all tend to have humanoid forms, because that is transformation magic, compressing their body into the form of a human. Okay? That makes sense. And even if you want to take the anime canon from the Fairy Tail anime, which, let's be honest, a good chunk of Fairy Tail's anime is canon because it doesn't really contradict the story much, for the most part. Natsu has also tried to learn transformation magic in the past, so at least that basis can be applied here. But still, dragons know how some sort of transformation for their human forms, so it makes sense that Igneel's personality that knows the spell and the form that he would take did this to Natsu after taking his body over. Now, how is Igneel taken over Natsu? Well, it's definitely a lot of hand-wavy stuff, because despite there is a reason. It's fairy tale. A lot of times when Machinima introduces something really cool, there are moments where it's just kind of hand-waved away as like something like this, something like that, yada yada yada. For the reasons why Igneel has taken over Natsu, the answer is Igneel's flames that Natsu consumed. I've mentioned this before throughout not just 100 Years Quest, but in previous videos, that magic is intrinsically tied to the soul of the caster in Fairy Tail. This was something that was fully established in Tartarus back when they were fighting. I keep forgetting the Cyclops' name, but whenever he absorbed magic, it absorbed people's souls. It's how he had Hades' power. He absorbed parts of Hades' magic, and he basically absorbed his soul as well, since the soul and magic are intrinsically linked. So, with Natsu regaining Igneel's fire, and him being a lot more stronger and being more in tuned in mastering and making that power his own, the residuals of Igneel's personality would definitely begin to manifest as Natsu used these flames and got used to it more and more. That, and strong possibility that there is residuals of Igneel's personality from after he freed himself and after he initially gave Natsu his dying flames. That, and previously in this very arc, we have seen that Ferris, with just Acnologia's left arm, was literally able to gain the memories of Acnologia and even begin to talk and act like Acnologia when fully accessing the power of Acnologia's left arm. So, the pieces of evidence that we've had in this arc, and even previously in Fairy Tail in the mainline series, we can piece together that Natsu managed to awaken Igneel's personality by fully accumulating to this new amped up power that he previously had with his current body, and thus awakening whatever residuals of the consciousness of Igneel probably resided within the Dragon Slayer magic or even previous dragon seed that was within his body. That's like the bare bones I'm giving you guys right now. I don't want this video to be like 30 minutes long for me trying to fully explain everything. If you want me to make a video fully breaking down everything about Igneel taking over Natsu's body, let me know. I'd be happy to take some time and actually like properly explain it and go through it step by step on how this makes sense. But again, it's Fairy Tail. Sometimes you just gotta hand wave your stuff around for it's just cool, and there is some evidence to support this, and you just gotta let it play out. But yeah, Igneel is fully taking over Natsu's body, which shocks Lucy and Wendy, and I love how Igneel is just like, oh hey, Earthbuild, what's up? It's been a long time. Really takes me back. As yeah, Igneel, being a dragon from over 400 years ago, would probably know, like most dragons, he was the literal fire dragon king. Earthworld asks Igneel why he's here, with Igneel just answering with, well, what I just said, and basically just one sentence to, again, give an explanation. His magic slumbers within Natsu, and since magic tied to the soul, his personality and abilities ended up awakening. But Igneel cracks his neck seemingly and just says, that aside, this is probably the last time I can actually come out, showcasing that this is a, unfortunately, one-time thing for Igneel to do. I just wish it happened later on in the story. Because I feel like, in this instance, I do feel like Machinima kind of jumped on the gun with this Igneel reveal. It's cool, it's awesome, it makes sense, and it also reveals something for Natsu's character that actually builds upon it and his role within all of Fairy Tail that I wish he established when he fought Ignia again. But anyway, Igneel ends up saying to Rockbuild that he managed to throw himself in with Ignia, but Rockbuild says he ain't really siding with anybody. Same with the other dragons, they're just doing what they want. Wendy and Lucy are trying to process this, but Igneel looks over in genuine surprise at Wendy and saying that she's gotten pretty big. As Wendy begins to realize that is it really Igneel, as she also begins to tear up, which honestly is a sweet moment. And I know I'm going to get comments like this down below. Yeah, Wendy would know Igneel. Their Dragon Slayers have known each other since they were little kids, and all their dragons have met up from time to time. This was explained in Alvarez when Natsu was regaining his memories of the past 400 years. So, Wendy not only knowing who Igneel is, and Igneel recognizing Wendy, makes complete sense. This also ends up giving us the idea and potential thing, and I know fan artists are going to try and make fan art of this, and I would honestly really like to see it, what would Grandine look like if she did the same thing with Wendy, if her magic still resided within Wendy and it allowed her to remanifest temporarily? Same with Ganjil and Metallicana. That would be really cool. I would love to see their designs. Metallicana, specifically, would probably look absolutely insane. But with that said, Igneel says, sorry about all the trouble my kids caused, and I'm going to start cleaning up Ignia's mess. With Lucy asking if Natsu's okay, Igneel, with roaring flames billowing out from him once more, says, oh, don't worry, he's just resting inside. As Igneel and Rockbuild clash, Igneel getting a big, nice smirk on his face, obviously loving a chance to actually be able to fight again, as Rockbuild obviously is getting kind of frustrated. Igneel then headbutts Rockbuild back and then unleashes a dragon's roar right at point blank range, and we get to see just the absolute destructive calamitous power that Igneel can produce from just his basic Dragon King's roar, which I love the perspective shots, and this is like the second time we have seen Igneel use a breath attack. And this is him in human form. Imagine if he was in his dragon form. This would definitely be stronger. And my guess, Natsu is probably at least to a degree stronger than Igneel was during Tartarus. So this is Igneel's magic amped by how Natsu's base newfound power is. So that's honestly genuinely insane. Heck, even Wendy instantly clocks after the roar attack. Oh no, definitely. That is definitely Igneel right there. But I do love this really cool thing that in the midst of this whole breath attack, Rockbuild was seemingly, it's hard to tell, I think he was either underground or he pushed himself through the fire blast to land a hit on Igneel, which Igneel blocks, just saying, that's not too bad. With Rockbuild saying, your flame ain't gonna burn my rock. Now, this sequence, it feels like it was missing a page. Because yeah, we got the explosion of Igneel's flames from his fire breath and Igneel post the breath. But we just see Rockbuild in some kind of tunnel. So I'm more so reading this based on how it's drawn that Rockbuild was charging through the center of the fire breath. Which anytime anime or any type of series does a character just going right through some type of energy or elemental blast to try and hit this person with a nice left-right good night into the face is always going to be cool. And if the 100 Years Quest anime does come back and adapts this part of the story, I really, really want this to be adapted very well, because this could be a really nice sequence if properly animated. But yeah, Rockbuild and Igneel end up going blow for blow, Igneel using his bare fists to fight back Rockbuild, not manipulating the dragon earth around him to try and hit him, and he does land a few blows, with Wendy looking a bit concerned, but Igneel is just having the time of his life. I ain't in my heyday anymore, huh? Basically establishing that he probably would have been stronger if the power that was left within Natsu was from probably centuries ago. And this makes sense. The Igneel that left Natsu his power was basically the dying breaths of Igneel. So Igneel, before, transplanting his soul into Natsu, was probably a hell of a lot stronger. But yeah, Igneel ends up saying, Natsu, how about you give this fight a try? As we get an image of Natsu unconscious in his, subconscious. As Igneel is saying, I'll give you my flame, my soul, everything. But Natsu's still kinda conked back, as Igneel keeps yelling out to him. And Igneel keeps getting, blows from Rockbuild, as he's seemingly not really trying to win this fight. He's trying to, basically teach Natsu one last lesson. After getting clonked by Rockbuild again, he slams his fist to his chest and asks Natsu, what's your flame meant to burn for? As this shocks Natsu awake in his subconscious, as he asks himself what his flame is. Igneel and Rockbuild keep clashing in the background, with Igneel keep asking Natsu, what's his flame for? As Natsu subtly says, to light the way. As Natsu then fully remembers what his power is meant for, saying that his flame lights the path for everybody. And as Natsu says this, Igneel removes his takeover transformation spell, seemingly going back within Natsu's subconscious, or his soul basically just turning straight up into power. As Natsu turns back, landing a punch to push Rockbuild back, as the Dragon King mark is once again on his right arm. Shocking Rockbuild, Wendy, and Lucy that Natsu is back, with Natsu saying he heard Igneel's voice, going over towards the dragon mark on his right arm, saying, that's right, This is Igneel's flame, a hot and kind flame, indicating, the personality of Igneel and comparing it to Ignia's, corrupt and wicked flame. Rockbuild goes over to try and attack Natsu again, but Natsu instantly goes right into Fire Dragon King mode, or true Fire Dragon King mode, saying, Dragon Slaying Final Ultimate Technique. Sky goes dark, we get a glimpse of light from Natsu in his right hand, as in a double page spread, he probably unleashes the strongest Dragon Slayer spell he has ever created, King Fire Blazing Flashover Blade, as he engulfs Rockbuild in an exploding tornado of flames, as they're all not just, massive explosions of fire, but they're glistening with light, as Rockbuild is pushed back, thrown into the air, teeth destroyed, with Natsu having a serious contempt look, as he raises his fist in the air, saying, Thanks, Igneel, ending the chapter. Now, overall, I think this was a really good chapter. Not only did we get to see Igneel in his, let's face it, incredibly awesome looking human form, but also confirm some other theories that were very in the dark that I didn't mention, of Igneel resurfacing in some way. Last chapter, I also brought up that this is probably Igneel's personality waking back up, as well as some other people bringing it up, and I'm glad that's the case, and we got a bit of an explanation as to why that was. And seeing Igneel fight was honestly really cool. I just wish it lasted longer. This should have been a full chapter of just Igneel fighting, and then being like, at the end of the chapter, saying, alright, I got my fill. Natsu, you should probably be able to know how to use his fires better now that I've let your body get accustomed to it. Now you jump in. That would have been a lot better, but I still like this, especially with Igneel's speech to Natsu, basically reteaching him a lesson of what his flame is for. And honestly, Natsu saying that his flame is a flame that lights the path for everybody is the perfect encapsulation of him as a character. Throughout all of the series, from OG Fairy Tail, and even to a degree in 100 Years Quest, he's always been the character to kind of keep people on their path, to stop the selfish self-sacrifices that Erza and Gray were doing, to show that there's meaning in their lives, to protect the people he cares about, and to show them the right way forward, and to face any and all obstacles in their path to protect his found family. He has encouraged so many people in Fairy Tail that it has literally rubbed off on not just the other members of the guild, as they also kind of look to him for the ways forward. It's other people in other guilds, and that does, in the simplest way, fully encapsulate Natsu as a character, and that, for that reason alone, I loved this chapter. But now to get on to the actual negatives of this fight as a whole, because I cannot just blindly praise this chapter for the stuff that I generally think is good writing. Let me just say the bad stuff, because it's frustrating. We got all this before Natsu had his rematch with Igneel. This would have hit so much harder if Natsu fought Ignia and Igneel showed back up. Having Igneel fight Ignia would have been great to showcase the passing of the baton of his ideals to Natsu, and showcasing why Natsu is the true successor of Igneel, even though he's not his blood son, is not his blood relative, would have been amazing. And it also would have given Ignia a chance to see his dad one more time, because the last time Ignia saw his dad, he was a child probably, escaping the carnage of acnologia over 400 years ago. It feels like the perfect thing, but Mashima jumped the gun, giving it in this rock-built fight, and taking away, and this is what really frustrates me, taking away an actual fight and meaningful win for Lucy and Wendy. Now, Wendy's had good fights and wins in this sequel. Same with Lucy. But it really feels like with how this arc is shaped up, with Lucy getting the Mercphobia key, and the teases of her using Mercphobia's power, maybe a new transformation and form with Mercphobia's power, this felt like the fight to do that. And Wendy, it really feels like Mashima's kind of been sidelining her to a bit, and she hasn't had full-blown action sequences since the Doggermog arc, which is a real shame, because she is one of the strongest characters with the highest power ceiling, the highest potential of any character in the guild, even more so than Natsu. And it's a real shame, because these characters are great and they do deserve fights. Because now, there's no one else for them to fight unless they go off and help other characters fight other Calamity Blood members. Like, that's really the only way I see them having more stuff to do in this arc. Unless Ferris breaks free and from Ignia for some reason, maybe with or without Acnologia's power, and it's Lucy and Wendy to fight them, I don't know, because literally we have no more villains, no more foreshadowings, at least for now, of anybody coming in for Lucy and Wendy to fight. Unless they end up helping Natsu fight Ignia at the end of the day, but even then, the series has been built up for a literal one-on-one battle between brothers. So I just do not see them helping to fight Ignia at this point. And it just felt like we wasted a really good opportunity to give these two characters a meaningful and well-done fight, especially together, because Lucy and Wendy rarely fight together, is what I remember. So this would have been really cool. But now we squandered that for Mashima to jump the gun with the Igneel reveal and Natsu fully gaining a grasp and full control over Igneel's flames in his new Dragon King mode. But that's really all I have to say at the moment. I could make a whole other video on my frustrations with this arc, but I'm going to wait a while before I end up doing that. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What you thought of this chapter, about Igneel coming back for a bit, Natsu's role in the story being literally explained in this chapter, and the unfortunate sidelining of Lucy and Wendy for this moment that should have come a bit later. Let me know down below. And once more, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. And don't forget to check out the Patreon to help support the videos I make even more. Or click the join button to be a channel member. I have some exclusive videos going on Patreon soon, within the next week or two, of videos I haven't posted due to them being part of full-on review series that I paused for a year because I had no time to keep reading and making videos on them for the time being, or videos I just aren't sure when to upload and they're just sitting in limbo that I haven't posted them yet. So if you want to see those videos coming out soon, go and check out the Patreon, link in the description down below. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.